Welcome to Brush Lettering Lowercase Alphabet Part 1, the second in a three-part video series showing you how to draw beautiful brush letters using Sakura of America's KOI Coloring Brush pens. My name is Erica Pinto and I'm a hand lettering artist from Toronto, Canada. The supplies I'll be using in this video are assorted KOI Coloring Brush pens, the Brush Lettering Lowercase Alphabet and Blank Guidelines worksheets, both of which can be downloaded from sakuraofamerica.com, and some sheets of tracing paper. Guidelines are important for learning how to draw letters with consistent proportions. In this tutorial, I'll be referring to the following guidelines as I work through each letter. The baseline, which is the line on which our letters sit, the waistline, which is the dotted line above it, the ascender line at the very top, and the descender line at the very bottom. I've also included slant lines so that we can draw our letters at a consistent angle to one another. So let's get started with our alphabet. You'll notice that I'm not working through the letters alphabetically, rather I've grouped them by basic strokes. If you are not familiar with the basic strokes, make sure you go back and watch the first video in this series, Brush Lettering Basic Strokes. I'll break each letter down into its individual component strokes and then show you how to put them together to form a single letter. The first group of letters have an underturn as their main basic stroke. So starting with the letter I, I'm going to begin with a thin, light upstroke as my entrance stroke, followed by an underturn, and ending with a dot. Now I'll show you how I bring those all together. So first the entrance stroke, followed by the underturn, and then the dot. Notice how slowly I move with the pen to help smooth the transition between my thin and my thick lines. Now for the letter U, we have an entrance stroke, followed by an underturn, and then one more underturn. Here they are put together. The letter W is very similar to the U, but it has an additional stroke at the end. So first you start with the entrance stroke, followed by an underturn, one more underturn, and then something that looks like a compressed underturn. It's just a short stroke that starts with a little bit of pressure and rounds out into a thin upstroke at the end. Now let's try the overturn letters. Starting with the letter M, I'm going to begin with an entrance stroke that turns into an overturn, followed by another overturn, and ending with a compound curve. Again, make sure you move slowly through these curves. Here they are put together. The letter N starts the same way. So beginning with an entrance stroke that turns into an overturn, followed by a compound curve. Our third group of letters start with a compound curve. So starting with the letter V, I'll begin with an entrance stroke that transitions right into a compound curve. For the exit stroke, again, it's like a compressed underturn, just a little bit of pressure as you move down, and then move into a light upstroke at the end. For the letter X, I like to make the compound curve a little bit stretched out. That way I have room for the stroke that goes diagonally. So there's the compound curve. And then I have a slightly curved diagonal line that works from the bottom left up to the top right. Our final group of letters are the oval letters. So starting with the letter A, I'm going to draw a thin entrance stroke, followed by an oval, making sure to work slowly as I transition from thin to thick and to thin again, and then an underturn. So here are those strokes put together. For the letter C, I'm going to start again with a thin entrance stroke. And then I'm going to start the oval the same way, but rather than closing the loop, I'm going to bring that bottom upstroke out and to the right as my exit stroke. For the letter E, I start with a thin entrance stroke, and then I start my E between the baseline and the waistline, thin upstroke, transitioning to a thick downstroke, and again bringing that exit stroke out like we did with the letter C. Finally, for the letter O, we have a thin entrance stroke, followed by an oval, and then an exit stroke that starts where you started your oval, with a little bit of pressure on the downstroke, and then pulling the thin upstroke out. That concludes Lowercase Alphabet Part 1. Be sure to check out Lowercase Alphabet Part 2, where I'll show you how to draw the rest of the alphabet. Thanks so much for watching.